Have you ever fancied becoming a swinger? No, not that kind of swinger, you deviant. I'm talking about brachiation. Now there's a word you don't hear every day. Hello and welcome. This week I've been playing Gibbon Beyond the Trees from developer Broken Rules, the same studio that brought you the critically acclaimed heartstring yanker Old Man's Journey. Available on Steam, Apple Arcade and Nintendo Switch, the studio's latest release sees you take control of a gibbon named Pink, setting out on a journey with her family through rainforests and urban environments in a bid to escape hunters and the impacts of climate change and deforestation in Southeast Asia. I thought I'd try something easier this week, as recently I've been playing some painfully tough games, but what this game lacks in difficulty, it makes up for in drama. In terms of gameplay, the controls are fairly simple. You can swing from branches, awnings and telephone wires and slide across surfaces, as well as perform somersaults and bounce on certain objects. Even at its extremely short playtime of around an hour from the main story, I do recommend this game, so let's look at why that is. Although it is very short, it's an all-consuming experience that will leave you transfixed. Up until now, I've stopped and started recording games whilst trying to capture footage for videos, but in the case of Gibbon Beyond the Trees, I was in a kind of zen state once I got the hang of the controls and ended up forgetting about making a video and drooling slack-jawed at the screen for an hour as I swung flowingly from tree to tree. The controls really are fine-tuned to perfection, and the free-flowing movement is something to behold. There's also no breaks between chapters or levels, which helps to give the impression of a unified, free-flowing experience. Now, although I wanted to play something easier this week, you can die in this game and you'll feel like an absolute bastard when you do, which is testament to how this simple story pulls you in and makes you feel responsible for the fate of these creatures. And it doesn't just play well, it even looks nice. I mean, look at this, it's hand painted and there's some interesting details such as this obnoxious looking western backpacker. As the game gets a bit more frantic and dangerous, you really do start to get a sense of the dangers facing these animals and an idea of what it feels like to have your home and your way of life destroyed. And while not wanting to give anything away about the story, I got emotionally invested in what was happening on screen, something I can't really say about many games I've played recently. The only negative thing I could say about Gibbon Beyond the Trees has already been touched on, and that is that it's extremely short. Having said that, there is a gameplay mode you can unlock by completing the main story, in which you go on a journey to liberate other animals, making you feel all warm and fuzzy inside, though it lacks the emotional impact of the main story. This introduces you to a bit more challenge, as some are in difficult to reach parts of the screen depending on your previous moves and momentum. The levels here are procedurally generated, and it kept me playing for an hour or so more to see how many iterations of the environments would appear. Playing this has made me reflect on what video games can do and how there's a broad range of experiences available in gaming. You could be doing something as puerile yet fun as teabagging defeated opponents in a multiplayer game of Halo, or you could be made to feel empathy for the plight of a family of gibbons. Broken Rules worked with a number of organisations involved in the conservation of this endangered species and their environments, linked in the description, and I just wonder if more developers might follow suit and focus on one specific cause, and this might represent the start of a new trend in gaming, or I've just lost my mind. Of course, games as a medium for raising awareness of serious issues are nothing new, with 11-bit studios this war of mine doing a good job of giving people an insight into the hardships and dangers of living through a conflict as a civilian, for example. But I've never seen anything as niche as Gibbon Beyond the Trees and so focused on a very specific issue. Do you have any ideas for issues that could be explored in gaming? If you do, I'd like to read about them in the comments below, so feel free to post them. This video was a bit of a mess this week, but if you liked it and or found it useful, consider giving it a wee like and hit the subscribe button, as I release indie game videos each week. Now I'm going back home to do some swinging. No, not that kind of swinging.